How's it going, folks? Welcome back to TUTV. My name is Jack.
I'm Lily.
And last week we were talking about how exhausted we were. And I was thinking that, once we get past this last week, we'll be smooth sailing from here on out. And then I realized that this week is also test week.
Ooh, how's that going
and
for
I'm
you?
also exhausted this week as well.
How many tests do you have this week?
Just the one, but I had one last week as well and the week before. They're just spreading them out, so it's just like constant.
Yeah, it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and then obviously assignments and projects in between.
Yeah, since I'm in the Arts and Sciences College, all we have are usually like papers or quizzes. So I've had like 4 or 5 page papers due every day.
Yeah.
Not every day, every week. My bad.
My favorite thing to do in a school-run club is complain about the school and how much I hate it.
I mean, like, TU's great, but just like any university, it has flaws.
Yep, which is they assign me stuff.
I mean, I think that's their job.
No.
I think that's why we're here, for an education that kind of, has papers.
All they have to do is give me the degree.
I think you have to work for your degree. I feel like it would be great to just like go in and get a degree without working for it, but here we are.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And I think we can get that. We can get that done. We should we could just not do any work. Like, why isn't that allowed?
I mean, like, if you want to, we'll see how your grades go by the end of the year.
All
like,
right.
Okay, how about this?
I
will work really hard and do all of my work.
And I'll do none of it.
Yes.
Deal.
How about that? Great.
All right, folks, we're gonna have a good episode today. Enjoy.
Have fun.
Hello and welcome back to TUTV News, your one-stop shop for the newest news TU has to offer you. I'm Daiquiri Zarland.
And I'm Christina Bull, and we've got some exciting stories for you this week, so let's get started. This weekend, a pro-democracy rally was held for Hong Kong and Taiwan. The president of Taiwan, Tsai Ing-wen, has encouraged citizens to show solidarity with Hong Kong. Taiwanese and Hong Kong citizens, in addition to about 20 non-governmental organizations, marched outside of the city's representative office in Taipei. Over 1 million protesters were reported to be on the scene. Hong Kong and Taiwan both share a history of being overshadowed by China.
On Friday, the Cherokee Nation announced that it would be putting $16 million towards the preservation of the language. The newly passed Cherokee Language Preservation Act was named after Durbin Feeling, a translator who created the Cherokee English Dictionary. The act calls for the construction of a new language center in Tahlequah and a Secretary of Language in the Tribal Council. According to Deputy Chief Brian Warner, the act is meant to encourage us as Cherokee people to embrace our language and use it for many future generations.
On Tuesday, September 24th, United States Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi launched an impeachment inquiry via a televised speech. The investigation will look into an alleged abuse of power by President Trump. Central to the issue is the president's controversial phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump is claimed to have asked the Ukrainian president to investigate the son of Joe Biden, a rival in the 2020 election. The inquiry is the first of its kind since Bill Clinton's in 2000. Stay tuned for more on this story in the coming weeks.
A car was totaled in St. Louis on Tuesday, but not the way you might expect. The culprit was a canister of dry shampoo in his owner's Honda Civic glove compartment. When the owner's parents investigated inside of the car, they were clueless to the cause. However, they soon found the broken can in the car's general vicinity. According to the mother, while she is glad that her daughter was safe, her daughter is heartbroken to know that the roof of her car exploded.
An orchard in Indiana recently had a harvest that they were not prepared for. Farmer John Drummond was driving around the property last week when he found that all of the apple trees were empty. He estimates that around 50,000 apples were stolen from his orchard, which would add up to about $20,000 in damages. According to Drummond, the culprit could only be someone with insider knowledge, and the authorities are currently investigating.
Well, isn't that a very strange compilation of events? We have an Apple conspiracy, exploding cars. What more could a week ask for?
I know, right? Man, that exploding car, though, I don't think it's smart to leave like an aerosol can in your car.
Well, I couldn't call that bad advice. If anything, we have more exciting stories for you in the upcoming weeks. Stay tuned to TUTV.
Hey there, today we are here with Carter Bradford and Caleb Gardner, both members of Pay It Forward here at the University of Tulsa. So before we get into that, just a little background about you guys. What's your majors? What's your grade here?
Yeah, so I'm a health science major. I'm a senior here at Tulsa, and
Cool.
yeah, my last year.
I'm a junior. I'm a computer science major here at the University of Tulsa.
Sweet. All right. So you guys are both members of Pay It Forward. You're the president, right?
Yes.
And how did that, before we get to how it started, what's a quick overview of the club? What do you guys do?
Yeah, Pay It Forward. We're just an organization on campus that is dedicated to fighting homelessness, food insecurity specifically, in the greater Tulsa area, especially close to TU. We're getting kids to donate their meals every week on campus in the C-store, and that's really adding up. We're donating hundreds of meals a month to homeless people around Tulsa.
Sweet. So that basically works like, is it like dining dollars or like calf swipes, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're donating actual meal swipes. So
Okay.
kids that have meal plans can actually donate to this. If kids that don't have meal plans can still participate, we're taking volunteers and helping pack meals and take them out into the city. But yeah, meal swipes are what you get through that donation.
So Carter, you're actually one of the founders of the group. How did you get started with doing Pay It Forward?
Yeah, so into my freshman year, there was a friend of mine that started taking a few of his extra meals, and he just had a friend that he knew on the streets, and he just gave a few of his meals out. And so that next year, I asked him if I could go out with him, and we started just taking a few meals together. And we ended up asking other people for their cards and swiping their extra meals that week. And we started taking up to 20 or 25 meals a week, just the two of us. Wow. And then going into my junior year last year, or 2 summers ago, I thought, like, how can I get every student involved, and how can we get more students to even help take meals? And that's
Right.
where I talked to the dining services and asked them to, help us, like, make a sign-in sheet or something to where we can start giving meals ourselves, and that's how Pay It Forward kind of started.
Sweet. So, what are the logistics behind how that works? So, if somebody, for example, wants to give a calf swipe, do they have to they have to sign up at the calf, or do you meet with somebody? Like, how does that work?
So yeah, it's just the C-store. There's a blue
Okay.
table in the C-store. They go up to the cashier and say, I want to give X amount of meals, and you can only give 3 or 4 a day. And you swipe your card to give that many. You sign how many meals you gave, and then dining services adds all those up and tells us how many meals we got per week. Mm-hmm. Then every Friday at the hut, we package them up and take them around Tulsa.
Okay, so like on your end, so the way it works is like you get the list and you just make meal packages at the hut yourselves, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a table. We've got an assembly line going every week. We
Sweet.
see as many people as we can get. We have stations. Usually a meal consists of like a sandwich, chips, apple, water, any other goodies that get donated that week, and we package those up into meals.
Cool.
So yeah, whole assembly line.
So once you have all those meals packages, do you guys ship them out? Like, do you guys ship them to like a homeless shelter or to like different centers across the city, or?
Yeah, we're doing that ourselves.
Wow.
We do 2, 3, or 4 cars depending on how many meals we have per week, and how many people we can fit in each car that we're taking out. We've got a couple different squads that head to different parts of the city. We go to the other side of downtown occasionally, or just across the highway here at TU traditionally. So yeah.
That's really cool. So, I've been living in Dallas for a couple years now for school, obviously, but it does seem like that homelessness is, and also like ideas of like food deserts, that kind of thing, are an issue like for the city. Is there like, do you know like why that is, or like what's the data supporting that kind of thing?
Yeah, so in Tulsa, there's about 5,800 people that are food insecure just in the Tulsa area.
Wow.
And in Oklahoma City, it's about the same, same numbers in those bigger cities.
But that's crazy, because isn't OKC like a good amount bigger than Tulsa? So like the numbers are probably off as far as the ratio goes.
Yeah, it's I think it's like Tulsa had a bigger population for a while, and OKC has a bigger like square area. But I think they still have the same close to the same amount of people.
Wow.
But but food insecurity wise and homelessness, it's like like you said, food deserts. There's a lot of people that just like have a lot of rundown areas and rundown parts of town that aren't as supported and don't have the same funds as other places. And you get a lot of food insecure people. So.
Right, that makes sense. So, if somebody wanted to join y'all's group, who do you need to talk to, and how do we get around to doing that?
Yeah, so we have an Instagram, payitforwardtu.
Okay.
Or we have an email, payitforwardtulsa@gmail.com, and people can just email that email or look up our Instagram, and there's ways to get involved there. There's a number to reach or direct message us on social media. There's a few different ways you can talk to us, or if you find me or Caleb or a few others on campus, you can even talk to us.
So, I mean, kind of overview, like what are some like personal anecdotes you've had as far as, working with the group? Like a quick story that, that really stands out that you enjoyed.
Want to talk about Carol and David?
Yeah, so there was some people that, my first year, whenever I started taking meals, I met this lady named Carol, and she talks about how she had been in an abusive relationship for years, but she had found this man that had really like taken care of her and started taking care of her. And when we started taking meals the next year as a group, they had this little house right by the gas station off Admiral in Delaware, and we would always take meals there, and we always give them 15 to 20 meals because there's a really food insecure neighborhood right next to them, and we know they'll give and support, and we always will take new people out there to go see them.
Sweet,
and they're always so really cool and supportive, and it's just like an amazing people that like don't have very much but also are willing to give and help as well, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's part of the name. I mean, they're paying it forward as well. I mean, it's just a chain reaction. It's been really cool.
Sweet. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you guys for coming here, warming our hearts. Glad to have people like you out there. And if you want to join their great group, check out their Instagram page and hit them up. Thank you guys again.
Thanks, Jack.
No sports.
Hi, my name is Harry Lebowski.
And I'm Wes Addington.
Here are your sports news for the week.
Both men's and women's soccer teams had a rough weekend. The men's soccer team hosted number 4 SMU Saturday evening. After just the 15th minute, SMU held a 0-2 lead over Tulsa. Alejandro Chavez would be the only Tulsan to score, leading to a 1-5 loss to the Mustangs. Then in Orlando, Florida, the ladies were up against the UCF Knights. The Knights scored just before the end of the first half and later extended their lead to a 3-0 decision over Tulsa. Both teams are still on the hunt for their first conference victories.
Lauren Sang placed 4th overall in the Women's Golf Paladin Invitational. Sang's 4th place finish pushed the Tulsa golf team to 12th overall last week. The sophomore shot a final round 75 and finished the 54-hole event at 2 under par. Sang's top 10 finish was the 3rd this season and the 10th in her career. Taylor Dobson also played well in the Invitational, as she had the best individual round of the day, a 1 over par.
The Tulsa volleyball team captured its second conference win on Sunday, hosting the ECU Pirates. The Golden Hurricane dominated all 4 sets of the match, with scores of 28-26, 24-26, 25-27, and 25-15. Dilara Gedikoglu led the night with 19 kills, but Callie Cook kept the Pirates' score low with 7 blocks. Head coach Ryan Wills stated that, quote, "We were strong all weekend. Offensively, we were up and down, but we finished really strong," end quote. This made the volleyball team's record 9-6 with an undefeated 2-0 conference record.
TU football took a break last week, but the Golden Hurricane looks to take a hard fight to Dallas against SMU this week. This will be the first conference game for Tulsa, against yet another undefeated opponent. SMU currently rests at a 5-0 record and a 1-0 conference record. However, Tulsa is currently 4-1 over games played against SMU as of both teams' admittance into the American Conference. The game will begin at 6:30 in Dallas and will be aired on ESPNU 95.5 TuneIn Radio and The Voice of Kane.
As basketball season is rapidly approaching and the TU men's and women's team begin practice, a famous NBA player is expressing unhappiness. James Harden, in an interview with the Houston Chronicle, explained how he was, quote, "fed up and tired of his infamous step-back move being called a traveling violation." Fans and critics continue to describe the Houston Rockets star player as prone to travel due to this move. James Harden gave his 2 cents, stating, quote, "It's called being a creator. It's called changing the game, so live with it," end quote.
Okay, Wes, what's going on around the world in sports?
Well, Harry, the Global Rugby World Cup is taking place right now in Japan.
Oh, is that kind of like the FIFA World Cup, but for rugby?
Exactly like that.
Awesome.
There's 4 blocks of 5 teams each, and the top 8 teams will qualify for a win or go home tournament.
Okay, so how does it work? Like, can you kind of give me like a quick rundown?
So currently, the U.S. is in a 5-team bracket. They unfortunately got beaten by Britain in the first game, but they can still bounce back and finish second or first in the bracket to qualify for the quarterfinals.
Well, that's amazing to hear. That's all for the sports news this week. Hello again, welcome back to TUTV. I'm Benji.
I'm Parker. Here's your entertainment news for the week.
Good news for Marvel fans. Many expressed their worry and anger over the news of Spider-Man leaving the MCU, following a disagreement between Sony and Disney. However, the two companies released a statement over the weekend announcing that they've come to a slight agreement. It is now confirmed that the next Spider-Man film, which is set for release on July 16th, 2021, will still be produced by Marvel Studios. It will also be featured in a future Marvel film, which could be a confirmation of a 5th Avengers movie. Fans can rest easy knowing that the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man will be sticking around the MCU for a little longer.
This weekend, Kanye West left fans impatient yet again. On the promised release date of his new album, Jesus is King, the rapper announced a documentary about the making of the album instead of dropping new music. At a surprise event in Detroit titled Jesus is King, a Kanye West Experience, fans were able to attend a listening party as well as sneak a peek of the documentary. A similar event was also held the next day in Chicago. The film is set to hit theaters on October 25th, and just like Kanye, it will only be screened in IMAX.
Becky G and K-pop star J-Hope set the internet on fire when they released the music video for their secret collaboration this past Friday. The song, titled Chicken Noodle Soup, is a remake of a 2006 song of the same name by Webstar and Young B. In the lyrics, J-Hope pays tribute to his hometown, where his love for dance first stemmed, as well as his old dance crew. Becky G also shows respect to her roots and notes her success as a woman in the industry. Within 2 days, the video reached over 35 million views and has sparked a number of dance challenges across various social media platforms. The remake features 50 dancers from all over the world and lyrics in 3 different languages: Korean, English, and Spanish.
Cardi B is here once again to serve it to you cold. Over the weekend, Paris Fashion Week had been relatively quiet until the rapper stepped out in an eye-catching head-to-toe floral outfit by London designer Richard Quinn. In a now viral video, Cardi B can be seen strutting around in the front of the Eiffel Tower with a crowd of paparazzi surrounding her. She made sure to call out to her bodyguard, "Make sure a car don't hit me." The question is, can she see?
On Friday, actor Jason Momoa gave a speech on climate change at the United Nations headquarters. He spoke on behalf of small island nations who have the highest risk of being affected by climate change. In his speech, the Aquaman actor stated that, quote, "Our planet is nothing more than an island floating amongst an ocean of stars," end quote. He went on to bring attention to the consequences of the damage, highlighting that whole islands are effectively drowning in the ocean. Following his speech, Momoa called the experience life-changing and pushed that action must be taken today.
What do you think of the remake of the Chicken Noodle Soup cover?
Oh, it was quite a bop. We just listened to it. And in fact, I was so inspired that I think we should do a live performance.
It's not a bad idea.
All right. Give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Chicken Noodle Soup.
Chicken Noodle Soup.
Chicken Noodle Soup with a soda on the side. That's pretty good.
I think it's good. Our album will be coming out next week.
But who knows, it may just be a documentary about it instead.
Well, that's all we have in entertainment this week.
See you next week.
I think we just had our first live performance on TUTV.
Yeah, that was great. Round of applause for those guys.
They made history.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I feel like we're kind of like SNL in the fact we have live performances every week now. We should do that.
Ooh, I like that. And bring like a cool factor in.
Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff in the works. We got the Denny Phantom movie.
Yes.
We got their album, their duo album.
Yes.
I really can't wait for any of it. I'm really excited.
I know. Oh, didn't we say we're going to make that dog video? Because there's that cat video festival.
Yeah, no, we're going to do dogs too.
Video. Yeah.
We got a lot on our list.
Yeah, we really do. We need to start working on it.
We have a lot of promises out there. We make a lot of promises.
Yeah, but on the topic of cat festivals,
Yeah.
Cat the Musical is coming to the PAC next week. How do you feel about musicals from...
I mean, I don't want to I don't want to take two a side or whatever, but I hate musicals. Yeah.
Man, I love it. Why do you hate them?
I think they're dumb.
I do not think that at all.
What?
No.
I think they're a little dumb.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. Well, your argument.
Okay, so the reason I don't think it's dumb is because they have so many plot lines that bring light to certain things. So like The Prom, which was on Broadway, is sadly closed. It was by Ryan Murphy, who created Glee. It's pretty much a lesbian couple in high school who are trying to go to prom, but then the high school decides not to throw the prom because same-sex couple wants to go. Mm-hmm. So then when that closes, then Broadway stars come and save it to create a prom for them. And it's a story about acceptance. And
that sounds
such a
good.
big, yes.
That sounds like a great plot, but what if they took out the music? And then it would be
then
way
it
better.
loses the spaz. Like, don't you want...
The spaz?
Not the spaz, the pizzazz. The pizzazz.
Freudian slip.
They lose the pizzazz because don't you want sometimes someone just to be in such an upsetty spaghetti that they just need to sing about it? Like in the movie Waitress, Jenna, who's in an abusive relationship, when she's trying to leave, she talks about how she was trying to be into this pie contest, but then couldn't because it was a $25,000 winning prize. So she would have gotten that money and then had a new life. But then when her husband found out that she was pregnant, she had to lie about it. And then she had to sing about how upset she was because she's stuck in an abusive relationship. Who wants that? Exactly. Well, thank you for tuning in this week. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.